Thank you. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? All right, just want to find out where everybody's from. Who is from East Coast? Great. And who is from Europe? Great, I see you. Middle East? Thank you for coming all this way. I realize how hard of a time zone. And who's from Asia, Australia, New Zealand? Great. Anybody from South Africa or Africa? South America, Central America? I was getting there. You got me. Who's from Silicon Valley? Great. I'm sure there's other places we missed. I see most people are from Silicon Valley. Thank you for having me. I am Jeremiah Owyang. I've been in here in Silicon Valley since the dot-com days when there were actually some orchards still scattered around Silicon Valley. So it's wonderful to see this space. And I've never seen an industry move as fast as this. You probably observed that around 1/3 of the billboards on 101 are on the topic of AI, right? And did you know that there are 1,000 new AI projects birthed each month? Wow, that's incredible. And every big tech company in the world is now an AI company all of a sudden. This is like the fastest growth that I've ever seen before. And every VC firm in the world is now focused on AI. So it's an exciting time to be here. And I think one of the challenges that we have is trying to understand and navigate this industry. So given my experience having been in, this is my 5th tech wave, I wanted to share some perspectives what we're seeing at Blitzscaling so you can navigate this industry. Now, when you think about navigating, maybe you've gone on a hike recently, and usually you know your way and the paths are clearly marked, but for this market, the path's not quite clear, and there's something crazy happening. The mountains are actually moving. What are the mountains? OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Apple 2 weeks ago, Microsoft. One announcement can radically shift the landscape, and then you as an investor or an AI leader have to radically alter your course. So I'm going to help you make a sense of this by showing you a market map, and then I'm going to show you a prediction on how we see that the fundamentals of the internet are actually going to change. I'm general partner at Blitzscaling Ventures. We're an emerging fund. We're based off a book. Have you heard of the book Blitzscaling? Great. So it started off as a Stanford class taught by Mr. Reid Hoffman. As you know, he's on the board of Microsoft. He founded LinkedIn, PayPal Mafia, and invested in Airbnb, Facebook, OpenAI. Reid is perhaps the most prolific and successful AI investor in history. I had dinner with him last week and the team, and I get to hear from his insights. The things he tells us at dinner come true in 6 months to 12 months. Now, what Reid told us last week is that he can only see 24 months in advance. This is the guy who's in the know, speaking to the presidents, the prime ministers, the religious leaders of the world, and is on the board of Microsoft and helping Sam Altman. But that's as far as he can see is 24 months. This is a really fast-moving industry. He was also joined as a co-author with my good friend Chris Ye. They taught the class at Stanford to figure out how do companies win in Silicon Valley? Why do they win? They wrote that book, which became this fund. Chris is a founding partner. Reid is an advisor and LP. Reid is not on the investment committee. He's doing many other things to help the world. So we have a relationship with Reid, and he's an advisor. Okay. I run a very large AI startup event called Llama Lounge. Has anybody heard of Llama Lounge? Oh, great. I see 5 or 6 hands. The next event will be in July, hosted at AWS, Amazon in San Francisco. It's been hosted at SAP, Capgemini, all throughout San Francisco. And what the formula for Llama Lounge is, well, first of all, there's no real llamas that attend. I've asked the city of Palo Alto and San Francisco, and they denied the permit, but I tried. 10 different startups apply to have ability to be one of the demo companies. Typically, 300 AI founders join. You can see that large photo. And around 50 VCs. If you're a VC, come chat with me. If you're an AI founder, come chat with me. We can figure out how to get you on the list. And we have different themes for events. This one was hosted at SAP, and we are focused on enterprise AI. And you can see the room goes way back. There's many people, and they fly in. Most folks are, of course, from Silicon Valley, but the second largest group is from Europe. The Europeans are flying over en masse. Now, the reason I bring up this event series, which I started off in a small pizza place as a meetup in San Francisco, is it gives me access to see what's happening at the early stages of the market, in the market formation, the pre-seed companies. Now, as we discussed, there are over 1,000 new AI projects being birthed per month. Right now, the record is around 12,600, and it's growing at a rapid clip. That means by the time I'm done speaking, there will be another project at birth. And notice I use the term project, because they're not really full-form companies. And this one's going to blow your mind. We don't know which AI projects are being generated by AI. Because the website can be spun up by Butternut or Tome, the pitch deck can be done by Tome, the code can be done through an AI agent. We don't know which ones are not being built by humans. All right, now I promised you a map. This is the AI tech stack. Chris Ye and I worked on this. We got feedback from Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Stanford CS. And basically at the most, and by the way, I'll share, you'll get all these slides later. At the bottom layer, this is the key one. Okay, pop quiz. This is the data layer. This is the critical aspect of this. If you took all of the data that trained GPT 3.5, that's the one that went viral, all of the data, the world's wisdom, the world's knowledge that was published on the internet that they grabbed and they trained, how large of a file size do you think that is? Let's hear 3 guesses. What was that, sir? Okay. How large of a file size did GPT 3.5, the one that went viral, did they train off? Yeah, shout it out. 100 zettabytes plus, okay. Another one? No guesses. All right, well, I'll cut to the chase. If it's on your phone, it's 1 terabyte. It was only text-based data. And of course, cheating a bit, it's the compressed text file. So they took all of that text-based data to generate the first versions. Now, the reason I bring that up is it is not trained off the rich media, and obviously Google Gemini has the video data, and there's lots of data inside of the enterprise that Microsoft has access to. It is estimated that 80% of the world's data is behind a firewall, whether that be a private cloud, personal cloud, a corporate cloud, government cloud, military cloud. Most of the world's data has not been ingested and trained the AI systems. So that should be telling you that is such a business opportunity to find the startups or to fund the startups that are working in those categories. Secondly, we're starting to see some companies monetize synthetic data. This is happening all across the industry, so make sure you understand that any content created by AI, and the last panel was discussing synthetic AI music, which of course originated from human music, that is all synthetic data that's being monetized. Okay, so the next layer up is the AI infrastructure layer. Not too far away, obviously one of the largest companies now in the world by market cap is NVIDIA. And this layer, the AI infrastructure, represents the chips. Power demands are increasing, data centers. So right now there's around approximately a 7-month wait for NVIDIA H100 chips. And if you wanted a blade server with those chips, this does not include power or backup or even the rack. It's 1.25 million just for that blade. And it's already been pre-purchased by the 3 big tech companies plus Apple and beyond. So this is a really hot category right now, just the infrastructure to power this. And of course, the cloud services companies, Google, Microsoft, and Amazon gained a benefit from this category as well. All right, now this is the one that we think about the most. These are the foundational models. OpenAI, Anthropic, Inflection, Google Gemini. This is the category. Think of them as operating systems 20 years ago. This is where everything else is going to be built on top of this. Now these categories will get mushy over time, but you're quite familiar with these closed source, plus there's a few open source ones. There's around 40 open source players. The most dominant one is Facebook's Llama 3, Meta, excuse me. And then also UAE's, there's a team from Dubai here, right? So you know this one, Falcon X from the university, backed by the government. And I met with the team when I was in Dubai this spring. So that's a wonderful project. And there's 2 versions of Falcon, which I'm sure you know. One is trained off English language and the other one's Arabic. So that's a form of a sovereign LLM. Japan, France, most countries, the governments are sponsoring sovereign LLMs, and those are starting to rise up right now across the globe. People want to be relying on Silicon Valley, but at the same time want to be independent and not dependent upon Silicon Valley, which is known to encroach governments and societies. Next, this is the mass majority quantity-wise of the startups. This is probably 12,500 of the companies. These are the AI apps. And they emerge in every single category, from enterprise to consumer, every vertical, every language. Now, in most cases, these are often AI co-pilots. Now, this term is important. It's separate from an agent. A co-pilot, let's be clear on the terms, is operating in real time, synchronously in a collaborative way with a human in the app. So Google Gemini, Perplexity are all co-pilots. What Microsoft 365 is incorporated with GPT is a form of a co-pilot within the office. Okay, so that's current. The future market is the AI agents. Who's familiar with AI agents? Okay, a third of the hands. Let's talk about AI agents. Autonomous agents are separate than a co-pilot, where they operate with little human intervention at all. You may give them a single prompt, or they will understand what do you need, and they will go and do tasks autonomously. Think of them as entry-level workers. Think of them as like frontline workers. Think of them as everybody will have access to an EA or a personal assistant, executive assistant, or a personal shopper. How many EAs, personal shoppers? 1, 1,000, all at the same time. Each of you will have 10, 20, 30, 1,000 AI agents doing your tasks for you. Let me give you an example. We recently invested in Multion. This team comes from Google, Microsoft, Uber, Amazon, and they taught the AI classes at Stanford. And AI agents will do these tasks. So you can enter a prompt, please schedule this, and it will go and do that. Or go find me this book and put it in the shopping cart and order it. Or schedule my United flights, which is actually quite a few clicks to get that done. And so you can go see the YouTube videos and start to try these tools out where AI agents are doing these things on our behalf. Now, in this future, what we imagine is that for those that are willing to lean into this, perhaps younger generations, that they will leave the microphone on their computer or their phone, and it will be listening to their conversations all day long so it can understand the context. I saw eyebrows raised. Or it might access all of your emails and understand, how did you respond to James? How did you respond to Christy? How did you respond to Jeremiah? And it will start to generate the responses for you. Or it might access your calendar system and understand how to schedule on your behalf. Or it might access your e-commerce and say, what did you order from Whole Foods? Or what did you buy from Amazon? And start to replenish your materials for you. In this future, we're imagining that AI is doing a lot of these tasks for us using AI agents. And that's the next wave that we see coming. All right, so how do we decipher who the winners are going to be when it comes to this 12,600 startups in the space? So using the Blitzscaling methodology based upon Reid Hoffman's track record, PayPal, Airbnb, Facebook, LinkedIn, OpenAI, board of Microsoft, we're following his investment thesis. And I'm excited to share with you what was found in the Stanford class and how Reid thinks. So in the AI market, we've modified this slightly, where we are always looking for winners that take most in a market. And you think about the markets that Reid invested in, there was clearly 1 or 2 dominant players in each market, so we look for that. Secondly, we're looking for startups that have access to exclusive data. That is a key moat to defend against OpenAI, who's grabbed the public data. So you might want to find startups as an investor that has a legal contract with X company or industry, or multiple companies within industry, and have that legal contract to access that data, or with consumers as well. And then there's 6 different network effects. There's not enough time to go through that, but you can ask GPT or Claude about the different network effects in the Blitzscaling book, and they significantly apply to the AI space as well. And then lastly, we're looking for companies that have natural product-led growth. The former term people used to use would be viral effects or viral growth. And so it has to be built into the product. Marketing and advertising does not count. It actually has to spread. And by the way, this does happen in the enterprise as well. Slack, Dropbox, Box, App Exchange, Salesforce App Exchange, Microsoft Apps. Those all have all of those components across the top. So it's not just consumer products. I want to be really clear on that. So that's one way that you can use this as a filter. We're very transparent on what we're looking for in the market. Now, since we're at Microsoft, Bill Gates predicts that whoever has the AI agent could rule the internet. And I want to leave you with a forecast on what we're seeing in this market. This is Bill's quote. Whoever wins the personal agent, that's the big thing. Because you will never go to a search site again, you'll never go to a productivity site again, and you'll never go to Amazon again. I think Bill's been waiting 20 years to say that. I don't know about you. Now, he's not wrong. So Gartner, and I used to be a Forrester analyst, so I know how you do those forecasts. Gartner forecasted that search engine traffic at Google will drop 25% by 2026. If you're a marketer or advertising, or you work at Google, or e-commerce, or anything who's in that space, that is a significant change. So we're already seeing this disruption. Just a few blocks away, Google has cried code red. Code red means that all hands on deck, everything's being shifted, people are being laid off, they're focusing on Gen AI. So much that in fact, Mr. Sergey Brin has decided to come back to actually code and work on these next AI products. This is an extreme urgency. This is an existential threat to Google's business model. Can they make the turn? We'll see. All right, now here's the forecast. Now think of this as how does everybody make decisions around the world? So we have a decision funnel. Whether this be B2C or B2B or something that's complicated like B2B2C, this all applies. So that is a decision funnel. And there's some very simple stages that you're all familiar with, like you chose to come here to Silicon Valley. You had to have awareness that there was an amazing event here today. You have to engage and understand what's going on and consideration. And then you made your decision, your flights, your hotel, and then purchasing and committing to the event. So these are the standard ways that humans are making decisions on the internet right now. And guess what? It's not a great experience. In fact, Google search is actually a disrespectful experience. Now imagine you ask me, Jeremiah, you've lived in Silicon Valley, tell me the best restaurants in Palo Alto. And I say, you know what, I know the answer, but here's 10 blue links. You can figure it out. And then you go to those websites, then you can find the answers at the best restaurants. The answer's buried at the bottom of the page, and then you picked up hitchhiker ads, retargeting ads along the way. It's almost as if Google search is like serving advertisers or something, I don't know. But essentially, that's not a great experience. So what people are doing now is they're changing their behavior, they're making decisions, they're asking AI. Humans are proactively asking AI to help them make decisions. They're using Perplexity search. They're using OpenAI, they're using Claude, they're using Inflection. They're using Google Gemini now, of course, which disrupts their own business model. They're saying, hey, AI, summarize all of those blue links and give me the answer. So that's a fundamental change to the internet, and that's happening now. Now, in the midterm, we'll see something different. And this is what I was talking about prior, where you will have your microphone on with permission and rights, assuming the business model is aligned to a premium business model. That's what we are hoping for. And these AI agents will also have access to your email and to your family's email and to your worker's email. And I think that there'll be multiple AI agents issued to you. You will have one for your personal life, one for your family, house life. You'll have one perhaps from your physician and medical team. You might have one for your career. And every time you start at a new company, an AI will be issued to you and revoked upon the completion of your employment. So you'll have multiple AI agents all doing these things at once. And in these cases, the AI agents will understand what you want and proactively recommend things for you to do. This is how we see the internet as fundamentally changing. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. In this world, you don't even need websites, because the AI agent will be the dominant creature to visit websites. Therefore, the websites will offer an API. By the way, we haven't seen the startups offering this yet. That's an investment and opportunity. We're waiting for that market to emerge. The AI agents will be doing the brokering for the humans. We already see this in the HR recruiting space. And now if a human does go to a website, it should be automatically generated on the fly. You don't need thousands of web pages. So the internet, as we know it now, is about to fundamentally change. It's going to be something very, very different, where the dominant creature is AI, not humans. So this is how we will change from a manual process to something in between now, and then in the future, it'll be automated, where the AI agents will be the ones that will be leading those decisions on our behalf. Now, to close things out, let me summarize the last 15 minutes. Exclusive data is a key moat. You look for that in your investment opportunities. We think that is a defense against the tech giants in this space. 2, I showed you this rapidly changing ecosystem. The AI tech stack helps you identify which parts of the market to look for in opportunities. There's thousands of players in this space emerging. There's going to be a significant power shift, and this makes people very uncomfortable. I saw multiple eyebrows go, whoa, eyes go wide. Even in this room, where we will turn control over to our trusted AIs to help make decisions on our behalf and even conduct commerce on our behalf. In fact, by the end of this year, we should expect that some of the foundational models will integrate e-commerce right into the chat, where you don't have to leave the website. It'll do it on your behalf. So we're going to see new credential systems built into these things that have your ID and credit card. That should happen by Q4. We talked about Blitzscalers, what we're looking for in this market. They have access to exclusive data, network effects, viral effects, distribution strategies. You could reread the book and get the exact same information that I shared today. And then lastly, don't wait. This is the fastest moving market I've ever seen. Winners are being created and moving at a rapid speed. I hope this helps you. I see cameras, I'll wait for a sec. I hope this helps you in navigating the space. I mentioned that we are traversing new land. We've never seen this before. The mountains are moving right in front of us. The landscape is changing at a very fast pace. But I wanted to provide you this aerial view, so hopefully you can see the broader landscape and think about how the internet is fundamentally going to change. Well, without further ado, if you'd like the slides, you can click on this QR code. It goes to my LinkedIn profile, and then we can stay connected. And then you can send me a private message. All you have to say is slides. And then I'll make sure that you get that slides, or maybe my AI agent will get them to you. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Jeremiah. I'll be here for another half an hour, and we can chat at the break. Thank you.